And now here to break it down with us, President Trump's meeting with New York City Mayor-elect Zoran Mamdani. We have Democratic strategist Lee Neves and former Congressman Bob McEwen. It's great to have you all back with us. So after months of trading jabs, President Trump and the mayor-elect finally meeting today face-to-face. And instead of leaning into those insults, they seem to brush them all off and struck a rather civil tone. Here's what they had to say today.
I think both President Trump and I, we are very clear about our positions and our views, and what I really appreciate about the President is that the meeting that we had focused not on places of disagreement, which there are many, and also focused on the shared purpose that we have in serving New Yorkers.
I really think he has a chance to do a great job. We're going to help him, but I really think he has a chance to do a great job.
Now, if Lee and the congressman get along that great today, I don't know what to say, but Lee, what is your reaction to the meeting, and is this a much needed conversation to be had?
It was a much needed meeting for both of them. Mamdamni got a lot of flack for his election night victory speech, because his election night victory speech was a complete 180 from the Mamdamni that ran for office. The Mamdamni that ran for office was the happy-go-lucky warrior who was out there talking about issues that affected New Yorkers on a daily basis, affordability, bringing prices down. And then you had his victory night speech, which was very divisive, very much, I'm going to spike the football. So he needed a good meeting to show that he is capable to be a mayor who gets the job done. You could be a Democrat socialist, you could be a conservative Republican. At the end of the day, when you're mayor of any municipality, there are some nuts and bolts of government you have to get done. And with any large municipality, getting along with the federal government, getting those resources is one of those. On the other hand, President Trump also needed a good meeting because he's not had a really good week. From the piggy comment to lashing out at ABC News for asking a simple question, to saying that 6 Democratic Congress people should possibly get the death penalty. He has been reaffirming everyone who's on the fence about the president. He's been reaffirming their worst fears, that he is this despot, totalitarian, you name it, throw all the adjectives. So he needed a good meeting going into 2026, because going into 2026, what President Trump needs to do for the Republicans to be successful is say, hey, we're trying to work to get things done. It's the Democrats who are being obstructionists. It's the Democrats who are standing in the way of me lowering your prices, me making your life easier. So he needed a good meeting, start to set that tone that he's someone who can work to get the job done for the American people. It was a much needed good meeting for both of them.
Congressman, I think most Americans find it refreshing when both sides of the aisle can strike a civil tone. I guess the question is, how long do you see it lasting? Will it be long lasting? And what did you ultimately make of today's meeting?
Well, as you know, Donald Trump is an extremely charming individual. Nobody has created a movement like he has done. People love being around him. Whenever you're around him, you laugh. And you notice that he just set foot for 4 hours in Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt. And just because he was there, because of the rebirth of the strength of the United States, 30 heads of state, the Prime Minister of Great Britain, the President of France, the President of the 4th largest nation on earth, Indonesia, the President of Pakistan, who wanted to nominate him for the Peace Prize. People just want to be around him. We remember when a fellow could lay on the beach and nobody even take a look. But what has happened in the process is understanding that a rebirth of America, because we stand for freedom. The greater the freedom, the greater the wealth. The greater the socialism, the greater the poverty. And so as we saw America adrift and the world adrift, you saw where China threatened the rare earths. They wasn't going to allow anyone to use them without their permission. Donald Trump in 3 days went from Tokyo to Seoul to 8 countries in Asia. They all signed an agreement. And by the end of the week, on Friday last week, the president of China said, OK, we take all of that back. So I appreciate we have these wonderful young immigrants that come here. The head of the Progressive Caucus in the Congress from Indonesia. We have this now, the new incoming mayor of New York. These young people that if they ever ran a business or grew up on a farm would understand that freedom creates wealth. Socialism, remember this, government can never give anybody anything that it doesn't first take from someone else. And the degree to which it does that is the degree to which it turns the richest nation in Latin America into the poorest nation in Latin America, et cetera, et cetera. And we certainly pray and hope that that doesn't happen to New York City.
Now, the common ground that the president and the mayor-elect had is really in identifying some of the greatest challenges in affordability that the common American man and woman are facing. Let's hear more from Mamdamni.
When I spoke to New Yorkers who had voted for the president last November on Hillside Avenue and Fordham Road, I asked them why. I heard again and again two major reasons. One was that they wanted an end to forever wars. They wanted an end to the taxpayer dollars we had funding violations of human rights, and they wanted to address the cost of living crisis.
So, Lee, there's a variety of policy issues on the table. The big one is affordability, but the question is how to tackle this issue. Given ideological differences, do you see any room for compromise when it's time for real action?
They're going to have to. I mean, when you have, everyone knows affordability is the issue of 2026. It's why the Democrats did so well in these past elections of 2025. It's why you now have Democratic governors in Virginia and in New Jersey, and why the Democrats did so well in statewide elections in Georgia. Affordability is it. I mean, even out here in California, we had a wide open governor's race, and the top people are all talking about affordability. And voters are going to want to see something done on it. They're not going to want just talking points. We've been talking about it for a year. President Trump said the day he got in office, he's going to lower prices. Well, guess what? They haven't been lowered. They've actually been going up. Inflation has gone up. So there's some is going to have to be done. And at the end of the day, both sides are going to have to say, okay, we're going to have to give a little because we need to accomplish something. Because if we don't, voters are going to take it out on us come the first Tuesday in November of 2026.